Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is something I've been wanting to make for quite some time, actually. It's a good couple of weeks. I saw a few things happened at once. That I saw a good article on What Culture. I was quite surprised about that. By the way, a good article on What Culture written by, what's this, Mark Donaldson, I think, who actually, he doesn't say me by name, but mentions me in one of his articles as one of the evil Doctor Who fans. Anyway, whatever. He actually writes a good article about the Dark Dimension, something I am fascinated with, because I was there when it appeared and there when it died and always wanted to know more about it. I don't think it would have been that great, quite frankly. I don't think it would have been that great, but it's still this last bit of Doctor Who and, the road not taken has always fascinated me. Probably you too. Anyway, so this is going to be a deep dive into everything you need to know about the Dark Dimension, including giving you a link to a fan version of it, which is probably quite a bit better. Quite a bit better than it would have been other than the voices. Listen, all the performances in the fan version are good performances, right? They don't often sound like the person they're trying to be, but they're all pretty darn good performances. Another animated version took like 4 years to do. For me, look, for a fan thing, I think it was fine. For me, I like I'm a bit of a fan snob, right? I like Star Trek New Voyages, that the Star Trek Continues, I think. That's the level I want, right, from my fan films, not there. But it was still, look, a sterling effort, gives you an interesting idea what it would have been. What would have been? Probably not great, probably kind of forgettable, but still somewhat fascinated by it. So anyway, I did this deep dive on it. Been wanting to get to it for weeks. Eventually, I had this Sunday show. I wanted to add something into it on a live show. I thought, this is it. I'll go over it then, and then I'll put it out as a video, which is what I'm doing right now. Right, what I'm doing right now. There was also a couple of technical glitches. I'm cutting them out. But please join me live. Please join me live whenever I do any of the. I'm alive a lot, baby. I'm alive a lot. I'm kind of like, what was it? That great scene in the '84 Dune, when they come into the Baron, and he goes, "Am I alive?" And he goes, "Yes, you're alive, Baron." He goes, "Yes, I'm alive! I'm alive!" So I kind of like that. Kind of like I'm alive. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Just as an affirmation of life. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button. Sign up to my Substack. Sign up to my paid Substack. I don't know what I'm putting on it. Something of just incredible value. Something of just incredible value. So go do all that. Now let's go take a step into the Dark Dimension. Doctor Who, the TARDIS. So this is something that's always fascinated me. Firstly, What Culture doing a good article, right? And this article is so good. It covers pretty much everything, and if I miss anything, I will put it in, because I was there, right? I was there when it's announced in Doctor Who magazine. It's like, what? And then I was there next month when it announced it wasn't. It was weird. It was really weird, and everyone's been really fascinated to know what it's been since that time, right? Like, if you were there, you're like, well, what was it that didn't happen, and who's going? And then slowly images started to leak out of these like skeletal Cybermen. So look, the answer is this. Oh, Cam is there. How you doing, sir? Sorry, I missed you there. The answer is it's not that great. I would say, be honest with you, it's not really that great. I would say, not a million miles away from Death Comes to Time in terms of quality, right? So whatever you think of that, think of this. It's not. It's. I think both of these are inferior to the other great attempt of a revival, the Scream of the Shulker. I think that's definitely the best of those three, right? Anyway, so let's go through the story, right? The true story behind Doctor Who's abandoned anniversary movie, how Doctor Who movie got lost in the Dark Dimension. Yes, and that's no mystery that the skit ended up on the Children of Nina and it'd be called Dimensions of Time. When Chris Eklund stated that a multi-Doctor stories are cash grabs, he wasn't far wrong. And I have to say, he was not indeed far wrong. Well, the show was off air. BBC Enterprises Corporation's marketing arm went all in on video. Oh yeah, video. They did great. I mean, John Nathan Turner freaking awesome with that, right? He was always putting out interesting releases. I like the Years tape. I like the Cybermen tapes. He put out stuff that he knew fans would want, right? He was a great showman, great marketer. It's like, I wish I could go back in time and talk to Michael Grade and say, look, Michael, mate, here's what you need to do with John Nathan Turner. You need to get him into Variety. You need to get him to like the. He is such an incredible asset for you, right? And then you should have got, like, I don't know, somebody who's a real writer come in and helm, like Chris Boucher, right? It's like he said, look, by Star Cops, I should have become the producer. He should have taken him out and say, listen, it's time to move up in your career. And we should have done a Chris Boucher, like from season 22 onwards. And wouldn't that be interesting, right? Yeah. That I think, well, but yeah, unfortunately, I can't go back in time. I can't go back in time and suggest that to Michael Grade. And even though it's a great idea. Books and tape, recorded soundtracks and novels to keep the fans' appetites wet during the wildernesses. Yeah, it was great. We had so much stuff. Their biggest Doctor Who radio project, however, ended up being unmade. Designed as a celebration of the 30th anniversary, Doctor Who: The Dark Dimension was intended to be a feature-length straight-to-video movie. The Dark Dimension, like Sharda, one of Doctor Who's famous obsessions. Right. How many times has Sharda been finished? Despite never having entered production, there has been multiple attempts by fans over the years to realize the story originally intended. The best one, they do a lot of creative editing with the plot. They make it a lot better, I would say. Rather than being found as a white whale, the Dark Dimension, like Sharda, is more cod, dangerously at risk of overfishing. Yeah, that's fair enough. With the 60th anniversary only a year away, and we're all looking at there, mate, and I was looking at Jodie, and with the multi-Doctor stories back in news, what better time to revisit the story of the abandoned special? It's time to enter the Dark Dimension. 10. BBC Enterprises plans an anniversary movie. According to the Dark Dimension scriptwriter, Adrian Rigelfold, who must have rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way, because, again, we never got a big finished version, is strange. The planned movie was at the behest of Tom Baker. That's interesting. Speaking to the Space Mountain Convention in Clacton-on-Sea, said, Tom Baker went to the BBC, said, I'd like to be Doctor Who again, and that's the reason why it happened. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. Wow, I did not know that. Baker had also suggested that scriptwriter be Douglas Adams. In light of this, the strong performance of Doctor Who and the home entertainment chart, BBC began planning some special back in September 92. Right, I remember this. Well, I remember hearing buzzes in fandom, right? A brand new feature-length episode for exclusive release onto home video to mark the Doctor's 30th anniversary in 93. Rigelfeld's script was commissioned 2 months later, and it was specifically written with Tom Baker a request in mind. The plot rolls around about Hawkspur, a villainous alien who murders the incumbent Seventh Doctor and alters the Doctor's personal timeline, so Tom Baker incarnation never regenerated. The older Fourth Doctor would team up with Ace and the Brigadier to put history back in course, and the other survivor Doctors would make a brief cameo appearance without, and they were not happy with those. This may have satisfied fans. There are certain hypes on BBC who lost their way, feels this series lost its way in the 80s. It was a storyline that proved controversial later in pre-production process. I did not know that. That's interesting. Okay. Graham Harper comes on board to make Doctor Who scare again. Yeah, this was really exciting, right? Graham Harper. So at the time, he was doing like the New Statesman, and he had that period show, some like women's sewing show. I can't remember what it was, right? But yeah, again, Graham Harper would have been perfect producer for this, right? Which is essentially what he was, I think, in this. Fine. BBC Enterprises wrangled over the project with the controller of BBC One, Jonathan Powell. himself one of Doctor's greatest enemies. He was not a fan, that is true. Ridgefield brought on a director for the project. It was Graham Harper, a fan favorite who directed, responsible for atmospheric acclaimed stories in the 80s, Caves of Androzani and Revelation of the Daleks. Yeah, listen, Graham Harper doesn't get much better than Graham Harper. Yeah, absolutely love Caves of Androzani. I love both of those. But, oh man, Caves of Androzani is so good. I wish they could do a CGI version of the Magma Beast, right? Other than that, it's perfect, right? It's a perfect story. Harper was reportedly very excited to make Doctor Who scary again, and was certainly a great choice for a darker, more grown-up tone on Ridgefield's script was aiming for. At this stage, the film was exclusively VHS and therefore had targeted an older fan with paid employment and disposable incomes. Yeah, well, that home market at $9.99 changed the world, right? We all suddenly, we up until right then, we were all relying on like getting. I looked for ads in want ads in what's that name in like listing papers or London to like get Doctor Who episodes. I found a guy had a bunch. I got Invasion. I was like so excited, right? Oh man, it was awesome. Because these things just weren't being released. So when they started releasing them, it was huge. I've actually bought, I have to say, Doctor Who how many times now? On VHS and on Blu-ray, and now on VHS, DVD, now on Blu-ray, right? You're getting me 3 times in. Plus, I probably bought the audios as well, for the missing stories. It was changed early in '93 when Jonathan Powell was replaced by controller Alan Yentop. Alan Yentop was very pro, right? The incoming controller was a supporter of Doctor Who and cult television in general, having overseen the creation of the classic Who repeats on BBC Two in '92 into '93. Yeah, the Doctor Who night was awesome. Sorted by Charles Denton, the new head of Serial and Serials. Yentop gave best into the Dark Dimension to be aired on BBC One. The planned VHS release now had a potential to feature as extra footage as an additional selling point. Okay, so yeah, we're all excited. So this is what's this? What's these images from? I think there was a book put out about this. Is this what's his name? Not Alistair Pearson. Skeletor, right? Okay. Fine. Now the project had the blessing of BBC One. Focus turned back to Ridgefield's script. As an anniversary special, there was a desire to include not just the surviving past Doctors, but several classic monsters. The 6th Doctor was to meet the Ice Warriors. Yeah, so you had a great scene, which is realized very well. We're going to talk about it when we get to the end. There's a great scene where the 6th Doctor is defending Ice Warriors in a court on Gallifrey. And it's really good. It's really plays the 6th Doctor's strengths. While the 4th Doctor would confront a Dalek in a Victorian graveyard, Bruton, and the 5th Doctor will be thrown into Cyber Wars. Yes. That was the worst one, right? Because it was Peter Davison saying, "What do you want to do, Cyberman?" We want to kill all non-Cybermen. And what will you do when you killed all non-Cybermen? We'll kill more non-Cybermen. So what will you want to do when you kill even more non-Cybermen? We will. And it's like, well, then we will have killed all non-Cybermen. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just kind of stupid. Okay, in order to update his classic photos of the 90s, designs were brought on from various including Jim Henson's Creature Workshops. Henson were assigned to Cybermen, with Ridgefield having some insight into the designs at Space Mountain Convention. The guy who designed it, Nigel Johns, was trained by alien designer H.O. Geiger. Well, you could totally tell that. And you can imagine this particular Cyberman looked terrifying. It had holes in its knuckles, and there were points where it held up its hand and it made a fist of 6-inch blades shot out of its knuckles. It was like Wolverine out X-Men comics, Cyberine. Well, that was pretty cool. These new Cybermen were the overriding image from the abandoned project, and it really gives a sense of the horror-inflected adult tone they were aiming for. Right. Well, why do they have a picture up here? Rick Mell, David Bowie, and Brian Blessed were played the villain. I don't remember Brian Blessed. I remember Rick Mell and David Bowie going, "Oh, it must be Rick Mell then, right?" You know, well, what one do you think they can afford, Rick Mell or David Bowie? I think Rick Mell is more affordable, quite frankly. There were a number of enticing star names linked to it as a villain, Hawkswell. Ridgeford had pretty written a book with Brian Blessed, so he suggested him for the role. I did not know that. Another thing was David Bowie was, of course, familiar with Henson Workshop, having worked on Labyrinth. It's not clear how advanced these discussions had got past the names on the list. But given how BBC Enterprise approached casting the Doctors, more on that shortly, they probably didn't go that far. The most enticing name on the list was Rick Mell. Graham Harper had worked with on New Statement as Mell as Alan Bastard. So he had to Jeffrey Sachs, so be who would eventually direct the '96 movie. Given their working history, the alternative comedian and actor was most likely going to be Harper's top choice. The prospect of Mel killing the Sixth Doctor and facing off against Tom Baker in a Doctor Who story is one of the series' great what-ifs. Despite the clear flaws in the Lost in the Dark Dimension, as it is now known, Baker and Miles' involvement would have ensured it would be nothing less than memorable. This is true. This is very true. So I remember, but this is a good article. This article really tells you everything. Pre-production begins, casting does not, right? Establishing a production office in '93. BBC Enterprise went into bid to produce a special with a tender of $75K. BBC were concerned the budget was too low, and Enterprise had no experience in producing original drama. Despite this, design work continued on the monsters, updating the Daleks' extermination effects to 3D bolts. Test shooting began. Costumes and sets were being designed, and a Pertwee era variation of the theme tune was being decided upon, and a new title sequence being drawn up. Kevin Davis, who would later direct the fondly remembered Anniversary Doctor in more than 30 years and TARDIS, fantastic, absolutely fantastic, was put in charge of realizing the concept of incorporating all 5 Doctors into a old-fashioned howl-around intro. Okay. The only problem was that no one had contacted the 5 Doctors. In an interview with TV Zone, Peter Davison, 5th Doctor, said, "They never returned my calls when this project was floating around. I was then sent a script later on saying, 'We hope you like the script. We look forward to working with you.' And still no contact of my agent. It only got worse from there." Yeah. Oh, that doesn't sound like that would have gone down well. Right? Yeah, I mean, that's where you have agents, I guess. That's weird. Come on, interwebs. I got to get my interwebs, my shining quite far. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. Most of the Doctors aren't impressed. That is true. As here, there's no classic. This is from the 5-ish Doctors, whatever it's called. As news of the project filtered out and crossed fan circles in June. Yes, I remember that summer. It wasn't until July that news of production had broken on the issue 202 of Doctor Who magazine. I do recall it. Fans were incredibly excited at the prospect of returning BBC after 3 years. But most Doctors were less excited. In the years following the project, John Pertwee, Peter David, and Colin Baker's first guy have been vocal about the script's many problems, not least the fact they were overshadowed by Tom Baker. As Colin Baker remembered in an interview in TV Zone magazine, it's not a very soundstagey to present it in. It's not a very sound stagey to present it in. The way it was presented, i.e., one is much more important than the other 4. Yeah, I guess so. John Pertwee objected with the script. He also told Starburst it should have been given to a writer who knows a little bit something about what we're doing. Someone like Barry Letts. That's a pretty good idea. Cecil McCoy then said in TV Zone, I don't even think the kind of story fans would have wanted to see for the 30th anniversary. They want to see all the doctors together. That's actually a fair point he's making, right? And the people did pull about him. So this is what scuppered it. This is amazing. This still, to this day, blows my freaking mind. Budget miscalculations leads to project being abandoned. But that was it. Fans' excitement of Dark Dimension was short-lived. The BBC board meeting on 10th July decided the anniversary multi-doc special was hastily cobbled together cash grab, citing the project had only calls past doctors and had calls past doctors and the unrealistic production schedule. Citing the ups of the project called past doctors and the unrealistic production schedule, the board decided the BBC Enterprises a memo that the cancelled Dark Dimension for financial and logistic reasons. Rumours suggested the financial reason related to the budget, the cost of the budget, and the special not being factored into the BBC's budget. Okay. And so they explain this. This wasn't quite the end of the project, however. Riddlesville went on to rewrite the script for the potential Christmas '93 release. However, meanwhile in America, Philip Siegel was working with Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, had heard about the project and was concerned. In a DVD interview in the 96 TV movie, said, "I read the script and it was awful. It was really embarrassing. It was silly. His version was better. That's true." And they were going to march out all the old doctors, and it just felt wrong. It felt like it was going to muddy the waters and confuse people, especially when they were so close to delivering our Bible and script. So Siegel requested BBC Enterprise senior management to put a stop to the project, putting the final nail in the Dark Dimension coffin. Yeah, so basically what happened is they double entered a figure. Like they had one cost that was going to come from BBC, and they entered it twice or something. And they were like 125,000 short or something like that, or 12,000 short, or I can't remember. The whole budget they were saying 75. I don't see how they would have done it for 75 though. Right. That's but again, they didn't really know what they were doing. I mean, what they really should have done is got somebody like Bill Baggs or something to say and he would have done something with that sort of budget. So fine. So essentially, yeah, they double entered this one figure, and they couldn't make the shortfall, right? And it really wasn't that much, as I recall. Dark Dimension replaced by Dimension Time replaces Dark Dimension. Dimension Time wasn't very good. Let's be fair. It was the Hartnell and the Troughton heads. I mean, Sue Moore did her best, but boy, they weren't very convincing. Pickled in time like gherkins in a jar. Anywho, if Siegel was concerned that the script of Dark Dimension was silly, then who knows what he would have thought of the script for its replacement, the infamous Dimensions in Time. Fans were undersigned disappointed that the dark and brooding 96-minute feature film was replaced by a light and fluffy romp through Albert Square in 3D for 1993's Children in Need. It was really very bad. They had this weird introduction from Tom Baker that was supposed to be in 3D, and it was awful. Views through the prism of anniversary special Dimension of Times is unbelievably disappointing. The crossover would be, it was a skit. It wasn't anything real. It was a skit. It's a crossover with BBC soap EastEnders. The doctors don't feel quite right. The companion thumbnails are thumbnail scratches of how they are remembered by writers. John Nathan Turner and David Roden. Worse than that, Tom Baker still doesn't share screen time with the other doctors. Yeah, he does. He looks at treats them with a bit of disdain. But fans should have lined up. Dimension in Time is a bit of daft fun for a good cause. Funnily enough, Adrian Riggins wished for Light Entertainment host Noel Edmonds to introduce the Dark Dimension on Joel's Who party came true. Edmonds announced the winner of the phone vote, who would decide which he sent as a character to save it from cliffhanger from part one. And he was then joined by John Pertwee in character as the Doctor, who instructed the audience to put on their 3D glasses. It wasn't a feature-length movie, but it was a laugh. It was a laugh. That's fair. That's fair. It really was genuinely a laugh. That's the best way to describe it. Adrian Riegelfeld, Uncirculated, tries to publish and make him Dark Dimensions book. I remember this being shopped around. It never got made. I saw the cover, right? Was that the cover? Oh, it was Doctor Who Monsters, wasn't it? Here, one sec. What's the name of that book? Doctor Who Monsters. I think everything went into that. Before the Dark Dimension was abandoned, Virgin Publishing was interested in publishing a novelization. When Greenwood finally pulled the plug on the special, the publishers decided there was no point in publishing it. After all, they had a robust range of new novels featuring the Seventh Doctor, and they began publishing new stories featuring the previous 6 incarnations. Yeah, they were doing great guns, right? They were really doing well. Undeterred, Richard would continue to seek a publishing deal for the unmade Doctor Who story. He discussed the potential book with Titan Books, but BBC a clampdown on the script being made public. The clampdown by the BBC likely ensured that the official making of book failed to surface on any of the 3 proposed publishing dates from 94 to 95, despite the dust jacket featuring the new Cyberman design. Here, let's see if we can find this. What's his name again? Yeah, let's just do a search. Making of the Dark Dimension. See if we can find the cover. The making of the Doctor Who, the Dark Dimension cover. Right? There we go. No, this was all fan stuff. The Nth Doctor. No, I've seen that's a different book altogether. Don't have it. Although again, here's the Cyberman that did the rounds. Right? Where's that from? All right. Let's see if they have any more pictures on there. Graham Huckabee 5. These are just the same pictures. Doink. Yeah, so that was the cool Cyberman design. Those designs were good. Anyway, let's go back. Where are we? Fine. Eventually, the details of Dark Dimension appeared in Virgin reference book, The Nth Doctor, Jean-Marc Lafayette. It's a small book. It's not like it's a small paperback. The book contained various background notes, including a full synopsis of the unmade adventure, which sparked the imagination of several creative-minded Doctor Who fans. So this is why I'm making this video. I'm focusing on this because I saw this at the same time I saw the this fan-made version of it. And then somebody else sent me an animated version. The animated version I didn't think was great. They spent about 4 or 5 years on it. Yeah, for me, it's something I couldn't really watch. This I could listen to, right? This I found. Well, here's the thing, right? Okay, so there's 2 ways of looking at it. I found it's very proficient. It was professional. The performances were all good performances. The impersonations I felt were uniformly poor. Right, they were uniform. I could barely tell who anybody was. But once I kind of worked out, it was. But in terms of performances, it was good. They also fixed the script up quite a bit and made it a lot better. But this is a recommend. You should really go check it out. It's free. It's on YouTube. If we learned anything during the wilderness years of the 90s, that when Doctor Who fans aren't satisfied to make do with existing Doctor Who, they make their own Doctor Who fan DJ. Missing episode hunter and continuity advisor Ian Levine has funded such projects for his own private collection. He's also, he did the Shardar. I think I got a copy of it somewhere. He finished work on his version of Dark Dimension back in 2012. He even managed to secure Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred to voice their respective characters. There have been, I do remember. Here, see if we can find that. We'll go Ian Levine, Dark Dimension. I have a disc somewhere with it on, I'm sure. Right? Do we have it anywhere? This is from the. This is here. What's this? Yeah, hang on. It's opening up. It's on Facebook. That's interesting. Page isn't available anymore. Okay. Dimensions in Time. No, we're not watching that. Fan film review. Exquisite. Let's see what this is. Is this a review of it, or is this actually it? Okay, yeah. So let's see if we can make this.
Hello, my name's Ian Levine.
This is version of Sharda.
On the first page of your sleep. I'd escape, and then where would you be? Read it to me. I presume you can't read Gallifrey.
That was okay. Evil of the Daleks. No, the new version is much better. I'm sorry. This is what Dalek Master Plan. Again, I think the reproduction the school kids did was good. Wow, I don't know. It didn't. I got to try and dig this out. This looks pretty good. Gallifrey. Wow, they did version.
See, this is nothing more than a small pickup, that's all. Cardinal, do stop insulting our intelligence by attempting to.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, I'm going to give that one a miss.
Let's meet this billionaire philanderer from the city of Westall. And
is this Dark Dimension over here?
Are you going to a fancy dress party? Do you know, I stood in this.
What is this thing?
Position. Oh, dear me. And what's the Sextus trying to sound this time? The catacombs of Splendaris?
What on earth is this? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed, but why is there all these like scantily clad, busty women in Doctor Who? Planet Galatros? Intergalactic Hotel, Galatros City. Is this still Gallifrey?
I am Zia Ronaldo Trump. This is all very odd. I came here to make
it. This is just weird.
He's selling me
yeah, no, I'm giving this one a miss.
No, not the Ventrarian Symphonic Edifice. Is there?
Yellow Fever. Okay, fine. We're on to a new one at last. Yeah, I always think this is the Robert Holmes thing that never got made. It's always seemed kind of interesting. But there's like not much of it there.
Sir, it's Brigadier Sunnerfield from UNIT and his team.
Come in. Surely they're looking after it. You don't seem very worried.
I mean, really? I guess I'll give that one a miss. Where is oh, is this the one though? I've got that.
Anywhere, nowhere. If your Time Lords come to die.
What's this one over here? Is this Death Come to Time? Oh, this is Dark Dimension.
I think you're being used as a definite private help.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Yeah, Sophie Aldred.
No.
Yeah, okay, fine. He gets about a bit a lot. But and what's this? This must be Death Comes to Time.
From you. I would give you anything. We want the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hasn't aged well. Fine, let's go back to the article. If we learned anything during the wilderness years of the 1990s, it's that when Doctor Who fans aren't satisfied, they were taken. That's true, we did. But they're all pretty good. Fincher welcome back in 2000, he managed to secure system. Yeah, we just went through that. The most high profile and accessible is the Faust Project's features audio adaptation of the leaked Dark Dimension script, featuring fans cast and realizes numerous fan artists. In 2021 version of the Bantam Project was recorded during pandemic. Script editor and Fourth Doctor Matthew Toffolo told We Are Cold. It's been a great pleasure playing the weirdest 90s era Fourth Doctor and hearing the project come together. Incredibly talented voices, acting, and sound design. I agree completely, right? It's a real triumph that they put it together, right? Jesse impersonations, I don't really think work very well at all. I look forward to being able to step aside inside the dark dimension upon its release. It's still available on YouTube. It's slightly closest fans will ever have. It's here to what the dark dimension is. It's far better, right? In my opinion, it's actually far better. Yes, indeed, better than the original. So go check it out. Go check it out. As long as I remembered, I put the link in the video notes. If not, just search for it on YouTube. You will find it pretty darn quick. It's worth a listen. It is worth listening. It's a bit of a recommend, but again, I've just been fascinated by this for yonks and yonks and yonks. So there you go. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.